Hi and welcome to this post today. I wanted to share with you three principles, three ideas that you could frame a creative exercise with school children, adolescents, private clients or adult groups as well. So the three words that you would introduce to the group are to give, to receive and to let go. So usually I would start a group and just offer those three words to be discussed. So why would give, receive and let go be of importance when working with psychoeducation, with embodiment or with creativity or patterns of ways of being? So if we looked at each example, to give, to receive, to let go, that each of those states demands upon us some sense of embodying a boundary, either to let in and receive, or to give out and give to others, or to let go. So when working with this exercise, I really encourage people to check into their body and begin to map where in their body do they give. Do they give from their chest, their stomach, their hands, their back? So being really curious with them about how their body gives through maybe friendship, maybe through gifts, maybe through relationships, maybe through work, through study. So to explore the areas in life where that person gives and where from the body do they do that. And then secondly, receive. Where in this person's life do they allow things to be received? Where do they receive from others? Where do they receive from the environment, their community? And it could be even, helping them think about how they receive things from their interests. So if it was a young group of people, it might be games that they play or, gaming, things like that. In an older group of people, it may be, what do you receive from your support network? What do you receive from your community or the job that you work in? And then finally letting go. So if we were to imagine that each of these three stages and frames could be looked at developmentally, and this idea of letting go, again, where do you feel that in your body? How does your body let go? Is it with your arms open and out, or is it with one hand spread forward? So allowing, almost using some kind of drama, psychodrama techniques as well, if you're familiar with that, to exaggerate letting go and to make letting go smaller. So there you are bringing in the body and you're helping that person explore how it is that they move through to give, to receive and to let go. So as said, these three points kind of corner mark different developmental stages. So to receive from the mother in that symbiotic relationship, we can develop trust. Whereas if we experience trauma or ruptures in relationship, it can be very difficult to receive. To be able to give, often we set up a state of high adaptation in more developmentally traumatizing relationships. So we end up over-giving. We're in a balance of compensation for the lack of things that we receive. And to let go, it's very normal that when working with trauma, endings can be really big. Now, if we were to kind of make this accessible to, for example, if you were working in a school group, this is a really important part of a developmental stage, to be able to receive life in and to know when to let go. Loss and grief and death is one of those fundamental stages of life that we learn to love and we learn to lose as well. So depending on the group or the person you're working with, you can really grade this exploration. The key points being, to which I'm going to get into next, the movement into creativity. So we've worked with movement. We can then move into drawing, which I'll show you in a moment. And to really stay in touch with the body and how these gestures could be expanded, made smaller, what feels right, and what changes might there be if there's further exploration. How might there be changes? For example, if someone finds themselves unable to receive, they may this might be their movement, or this might be their movement, or there may be no social engagement. Then you may be able to really slowly, over time or over sessions, start to develop curiosity around that. So you're integrating awareness of this potentially unconscious or conscious defense response. And the same with each of those states, you could do exactly the same with that, working to explore where there might be subtle changes that may increase this person's sense of livelihood, where they might then go on to feel more comfortable to receive, for example. As said before, so often people that have experienced trauma, they really know how to give. You know, they're the big givers in the world. But that there is a state of hypervigilance around receiving. And it can also be receiving from the self. So again, building up trust, what would that look like? What would the conditions be that would feel safe enough to receive something? So often those types of states, so the give, receive and let go, each one of those ones can be experienced as sudden, shocking or traumatic. So again, a really important way to grade this exercise is to have a sense of this person that I'm working with may never have had a choice around the things they received, the things they gave, and the things that they had to let go of. So again, really harnessing and nurturing compassion towards this exploration, naming with that person that it might be difficult, it might be challenging to look at these themes, and to always check in with them, is it something that they want to do? So in a group, you could frame it as said, 15 minutes of discussion at the beginning, where you can just talk about these three different states. Often a lot of people have a lot to say about them because they relate, you know, the themes around give, receive, let go. And then to move into creative exercise. As said before, what would this look like if it were a movement? Now in a group, what you could do is you could ask someone to do their movement and then see their movement mirrored back within the group. You could also have a go at drawing these three different states and inviting the person to talk about, you know, what's happening in the image, and allow them to explore that and reflect upon it. So I'm going to provide a link to the three images that I created, and a bit of sort of psychoeducation further around kind of the developmental stages, what are the themes that often come up, that will be written in the link. So good luck if you try this exercise. It can be kept really, really simple. It's simple, accessible language. And the biggest tip would be to just really encourage, especially if you're in a group, encourage a discussion, help them find the ways that they are more similar than they are different, that we each often have our own very unique story around how we give, how we receive, and how we let go.